So welcome, Dhwani. Welcome to another session of Decode the Market with Experts. And today we have got Dhwani Patel. She is the expert. So she has got more than 13 years of experience in the financial market. And she's a kind of a trader. She does, mostly swing trading. And also she's an expert in derivatives. She speaks in ET Now, the CNBC Bazaar, and she also have live streams in Business Insiders and many other news portals and in TV channels. So, Donnie, it's a great pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you, Neeraj. Thank you for the invite. It's always a pleasure to be doing a live session with Paytm Money, and especially with you being there. Yes, and the market is in celebration mode today at the start, though we have come from the day's low. But yeah, a little bit of a celebration definitely needed here.
Wonderful. So before I start again, disclaimer, investment in securities market are subject to market risk. Read all the related documents carefully before investing. Representations are not indicative of future results. All discussions are purely educational in nature and are in no way an advice or recommendation. So here we are going to talk about the market. We are going to talk about the stocks, but again, purely from educational point of view. If you want to take some, decision, please consult your investment advisor before that. So, Donnie, what are the factors? Of course, GST thing has come yesterday night, and there are so many factors. First of all, give your view on the market, and if you can share your screen as well, that will be great. And also, I would like to ask all my participants, please feel free ask your questions. If you want to, want analysis of your stocks, please feel free, put it in the chat box. Over to you, Dhwani.
All right, great. So I hope my screen is visible now to everyone, right? I am sharing across a TradingView screen over here.
Absolutely.
All right, great. So of course, market started morning with a celebration mode with the GST news and everything, but it's not sustaining the day's high. Overall, if you see over here in Nifty, 25,000, or in fact, if I look up at the daily structure, on the daily structure, I see clearly this trendline breakout, which I'm making now, is very important for Nifty to break on the higher side. Overall, derivatives is also of a suggestion that 25,000 needs to be taken out. In fact, 25,100 is a good level above which we can go, long on the index. But till that time, there is definitely a certain pressure that Nifty is facing over here. Celebrations, yes, a lot of sectors moving. Yes, we have seen that, especially the consumption basket, the autos, that there we saw a good amount of buying coming in today's opening session, but that did not sustain again on the higher side, and we are seeing the fall coming in. Coming to the levels of Nifty, on the higher side, I will go aggressively long if we are crossing 25,100 levels over here. We are seeing a trendline breakout coming in over here in the index, but till the time that is not happening, take a cautious approach, as in where you're getting profits, book profits over here. That is very necessary in case of Nifty. On the lower side, yes, the support level definitely is coming up, because what we are seeing over here on the lower side is that of this particular trend line, we are not seeing a breakdown coming in, and 200 DMA is also there around the same level itself. So on the lower side, 24,400 to 24,300 level, that should work out as a good support level on the index for now. Sustaining these two levels, we'll see certain range bound activities happening in the range over here, and breakout will give one side of a direction coming in on the Nifty right now. And when we're talking about Bank Nifty, also definitely Bank Nifty comparatively has taken a 200 DMA support, and from there we were seeing the bounce coming in. But sustainability over there also is becoming a question. Over here, we are seeing from the day's high again on Bank Nifty, we have come down. 200 DMA was taking a very good support over there. In fact, we saw the last 4 sessions taking a support over on the same levels, where on the lower side, 53,580 is the level that we are not breaking, and we are sustaining about the same. Again, when you talk about taking aggressive long, when it comes to Bank Nifty, I will take a cautious approach. Again, in Bank Nifty, the level that I will be looking out is 24,680, which is on a 30-minute chart. I have put in a 200 period DMA. Having crossed that one on the higher side, we can expect longs being built up in Bank Nifty also. till the time we are not seeing that, we'll be seeing certain pressure coming in Bank Nifty as well. Lower side, yes, definitely the 200 DMA on the daily chart, which is 53,580 level, that's working out as a good support. But having maintained that, the strength has to come in from the private and the public sector banks. And in today's session, we are also seeing pressure coming in over on there. So when we talk about private sector banking, we'll be seeing some pressure building in there where, just a second. Yeah, this is your PSU banking sector, where again in PSU banking sector, we are seeing that the pressure is coming in. Overall, if you look up at the dailies over there as well, the index is definitely taking a support. We are seeing that, it's taking a support near around the 200 DMA, but the strength is not moving above the short-term moving averages. That is where the problem is coming in. So that pressure is what we are constantly seeing on both the indexes coming here in Nifty and Bank Nifty. And in today's day also, we have seen that in the advanced decline ratio, declines have picked up. I mean, earlier in the start of the day, we were seeing the declines were in 3-digit, but now the declines have taken over the advances. We are seeing about 1,300 stocks advancing compared to 1,500 stocks declining.
Okay, so if you have to give a view to the market now, do you think that the kind of depressed situation that we are in, we are slowly started coming out of that situation? Market is slowly started turning. How do you think the next 1 month kind of a perspective?
Definitely, yes. Over here, Neeraj, we are definitely seeing that Nifty has taken a certain support. Comparatively, I am having more conviction towards Bank Nifty, to be honest, because Bank Nifty is where we are seeing the 200 DMA working out very well.
Okay.
Right? So Bank Nifty, my conviction is higher. But when it comes to Nifty, again, 25,100, I want that level to be taken out decisively to form, a very bullish, aggressive view over here.
Correct.
Given the kind of GST norms that have come in, the cuts that we have gotten over here, that would still take a certain period of time over here to materialize and come to the company's books of accounts and then show it as a profitability in the coming quarters. It's not an immediate effect that we will see it from now itself. And for now, if you see, the market definitely seems to be under a certain pressure.
Okay. Okay. Now, when you talk about Bank Nifty, we have got private sector, public sector banks. Then we have got again Fin Nifty. So how they are poised? Can we say, are they look the same or slightly different views?
Yeah. So when we are coming down to Fin Nifty over here, Fin Nifty definitely, we have seen that there was also a pressure in Fin Nifty, and from there today, though Bank Nifty is not sustaining the day's high, it's coming in red now. Fin Nifty is sustaining, because if you look up at the Bajaj twins over here, Bajaj Finance rallied drastically today. We see almost 5% gains coming in over there. Right. So the Bajaj twins are supporting over here. You're seeing in yesterday's session also Manappuram Finance, Muthoot Finance. Those were the counters which are working out very well. So yes, Fin Nifty does give conviction, but again in Fin Nifty, if we took a look at stock specific action happening, stock specific action is happening very well. But overall, broadly, when you talk about the Fin Nifty, it's not working out that great. On the higher side, if I have to go long into Fin Nifty or trade on the buy side of it, then I will be looking up on the higher side at 26,160 as a level being taken out decisively, post which I would build long positions over there. Support level, definitely yes, but Fin Nifty, if you're looking up at from an intraday perspective, also 25,890 looks like a good support over here in Fin Nifty.
Okay. So there are two things. One is what is the support 25,809.
25,890.
90. Okay, that's a support. And for aggressive long, you say 2,600.
26,160 levels needs to be taken out on the higher side for further long positions to be built up.
Fantastic. Good. Great. Now, how do you see, very quickly, can you give us a view on the PSU and private sector bank?
Yeah, absolutely. We can definitely go at the previous both of them. Let me try if we can compare both of them side by side charts.
Yes.
It's easier for us to see the difference coming in. So that's the PSU banking sector chart for you, and this is the private banking. So if you see both the structures over here, right? When you're looking at the left one, which is the PSU banking sector, there we are seeing a certain bounce coming in, wherein the private sector is not that supportive. Though we have some respite coming in from the PSUs, private sector still seems to be more under the pressure because Bank Nifty, we saw 200 DMA. The blue line is the 200 DMA. Bank Nifty is taking up a support there, right? Even PSUs they are taking, but the private ones are not doing it. They've broken the 200 DMA on the lower side and is struggling further to get above the same, where the level is coming somewhere at 26,400, 26,420 levels, right? So major pressure is coming from the private banking over here right now. PSUs are still able to stabilize, sustaining above the 200 DMA collectively, but then private banking is where we are not able to sustain above the same, though Bank Nifty is sustaining those levels. So private sector buying has to come into it for this to move further.
So whatever energy has to come to the bank index, it has to come from the PSU banks, right?
Right.
It will come from the PSU.
Private banking. From the private banking, the energy has to come in over here so that we can go aggressively long into it, because there are certain charts in private banking also which I'm tracking over here. Primarily Kotak is where I'm tracking more. Kotak again seems to be under pressure. If you see, there was a gap down in Kotak, and post which we are not able to sustain above the same. We are constantly seeing certain pressure coming in. On the lower side, if Kotak gives away the level of 1920, we'll be seeing more pressure build up in that one. So the sell-off is there in that one. Though HDFC is working fine, HDFC, we are seeing that the buying interest is coming in. In fact, in today's session, it's holding high in trade over here at the day's high. But then how much sustainable it is going to be, because if you look up at the daily chart, I zoom in into it, short-term DMAs, from there the pressure is coming in. Once we have crossed those on the lower side, we are not able to cross them on the higher side. So short-term buying there is also not coming in into picture. So yes, private banking has to take an upper hand now for the lead in the rally.
Okay. Which are the sectors? Now, of course, we have got consumption is another theme that's going to pick up. Which are the different sectors that you think are good from short term, to medium term perspective?
Yeah, so definitely we have seen that, the new reforms coming in, there are good amount of sectors, especially the FMCG. FMCG is going to benefit a lot over here. And that is where, major buying action is also happening in today's session. We are seeing that in FMCG, definitely there is a certain pressure we are seeing right now, but bottoming out. If you look at as of now, I'm seeing Britannia over here. Britannia, if you see, the fresh breakout has come in, sustaining above the day's high over here, above those levels over here. And we are seeing that from there, we are seeing a certain pressure. So this is a buy on dips opportunity today, very honestly.
I see.
Over here in the FMCG sector, that you're seeing a correction, but the breakouts are in place. It's a good place to enter into these counters right now. And the second, sector, which I think over here from current levels, which we'll see moving, is the metals. If you look up at the Nifty metal index over here, in metals, we'll be seeing the buying coming in into today's session. In fact, if you see yesterday's session also, metals were amongst the gainers over here. This was yesterday's session. And in today's session also, previous swing high was being taken out. And then, of course, overall market has not sustained the day's high. So we are seeing a certain pressure there. But metals is another sector where, one should buy on dips and make most of the opportunity coming in right now. If you look up at chart structures also over there, I'm particularly eyeing at Hindalco, given a breakout over here. In fact, if you're looking up from a broader perspective over here, stock is nearing its weekly highs, right? The weekly highs that we have already seen in Hindalco, it's nearing to those levels. And from that, we'll be seeing further buying interest coming in over here. In fact, what is interesting is that on the lower part of the chart, if you see, it is an ADX. ADX is nothing but a directional move in which we will see further action coming in. There, the positive DI is gaining momentum along with the average line. So that is where you'll see further buying interest coming in, right? So
I
again,
think
yes, metals, FMCG, and Hindalco is one of the counters in that which I see moving over here.
मैं वही आपको पूछने वाला था कि जो ADX का इंडिकेटर है वहां पे आई थिंक ADX that white line is again ADX. How
Yes.
can somebody interpret? In fact, somebody is raising hands. So if you can ask your question in the chat box, Ravi, I can put the questions to Dhwani for this thing. In fact, Naveen has also asked some questions. We'll take those questions up, Naveen, in some time, right? So let us complete with Dhwani's part first. Yeah, Dhwani.
Yeah, so ADX, it's a very simple tool actually over here, Neeraj. I use ADX in my charts to know the direction first, and secondly, if the direction is going to get momentum or not. There
Okay.
are primary two conditions over here. Green and red typically tells you about the direction. It's a positive direction or a negative direction. The gray line which you see, the gray line is where the momentum has to be picking. If you see over here on the higher side, the momentum fizzled out, though we had certain moment after that, but still it was not good as compared to what you had from the stock moving from 420 over here to 600 levels, right? So the percentage gains were more when we were seeing this kind of a slope. Now again, after the ADX having given up the momentum, we saw certain flat coming in over here around 700, 720 levels. Now again, the momentum has got a poise. Now it is ready for the next up move, right? And it is suggesting that the up move positionally over here on weeklies is going to come towards the bullish side, towards the positive DI. And from those levels, now it's time that we'll be seeing momentum, and having crossed positionally on the higher side 760, you'll see further gains coming in on this one and the ADX rising. So that is how you use ADX. It has to come from the bottom, cross from the bottom above the 20 level, along with the positive or negative to tell you the direction or the bullish or the bearish move, and you will not have much of a waiting time when it comes to the swing trades or the positional trades.
Okay. Any other stocks, any other sectors? Okay, before we get into the stocks, let's go into sectors. Any other sectors?
So when we're talking about other sectors over here, definitely there are quite a few sectors where we are seeing this kind of a movement coming in. Okay, we've already talked about the buying sectors. What I would suggest is, where is it time to book in, your profits, the sectors which have rallied, where you should be looking up at booking a certain amount of profit and then switching over to the other sectors. So switchover sectors is something which we've already discussed. I would suggest FMCG metals is where, one would want to move towards.
Correct.
But other than that, we are seeing that there is pressure coming in over here on the healthcare infrastructure, right? So that is where one should start looking up at booking profits over there. If we are looking up at the Nifty healthcare. Yeah. So over here, see, there is a stagnation coming in over here. In fact, if we look up at the daily structure, we are seeing a downward channel forming in. So there's a certain stagnation coming in into the healthcare. So that is where one should be looking up at, churning money towards the FMCG side, right? Other than this, we are also seeing the infra sector. Infra is where one should look up at a first opportunity to move out, because again, trading downwards, also 200 DMA has been tested, but on short-term basis, it would go into a range, right? So that is where even infra is where one should look up at booking profits over here and, move to the better sectors.
Okay. Great. So let's take some questions, take some stocks. Naveen Reddy, उन्होंने पूछा है दो stocks, Yes Bank and Idea Vodafone.
Yeah, these are the stocks, always no discussion goes without having discussed these counters. So definitely, yes, Bank does look a little lucrative at current point in time, because if you look up at the daily structure, you are seeing a downward sloping trend line from this particular area, and where you are seeing a breakout also has happened for the same. And from there, we are trading high into the session. I would suggest, if you do not have positions, do not get into it. There are better stocks. But if you already are holding a position, you can hold on to it. On the higher side, 22, 23 is the level where you should be looking up at, booking profits into it. On the lower side, one can maintain here a stop loss at 18 rupees 50 paise, and 20 to 23 rupees is where the move should go to.
Okay. And what do you think about Idea Vodafone?
Yeah. So when we're talking about that one,
Now, again, I would like to tell our viewers that whatever analysis that we are giving, these are purely for educational. And as you know that when Dhwani is analyzing the stock, she is giving her educational perspective as well. So don't think it as a recommendation. Please consult your advisor. This is a purely a session which basically is to understand the market at this current point of time, taking into account the events that's happening, the technical status of the market. Yes, Dhani, over to you.
So when we're talking about Vodafone Idea over here, definitely we are seeing that the counter is trading into a tight range. If you see, it's a downward sloping channel. It's a tight range. I have taken a regression tool over here to spot the highs and lows and capture max number of data points into the range over here. And from there, we are seeing that we are currently at the mid of the range. Right. From this, again, it can go on the higher level to 7.5 rupees, and on the lower side, one should look up at a stop loss at around 6 rupees over here. So 1:1 risk reward for a fresh trade, not advisable, to get into it. But it's more of like Khelo India, Khelo that everybody wants to do it. So just a little caution when you're talking about these types.
So if somebody is thinking about getting into this stock, as you say, there could be better stocks, right?
Yes, absolutely. There are better stocks that are there you can get into, right? Rather than betting on these counters. So I would suggest do not have them on your radar. There were glorious days where people made money, but it's an over. So if it's a gone story, it's a gone story.
Okay, ठीक है. Again, Sovik Banerjee, उन्होंने पूछे हैं Petronet and Loader developers.
Okay, coming down first to Petronet over here. Yeah. This is the daily chart structure, which I'm taking into consideration. Downward sloping trend into the same. On the short-term basis, if I have to say, this is the level where the counter is making up a support, which is 268. From there, we are seeing a bounce coming in. There are multiple points also through which it is seen. This is point 1, this is point 2, 3, and this is the 4th time where this particular counter is taking a support. So if I have to say, since June 24, almost a year and a half, that the counter is taking support around the same levels, and from there we are seeing a buying interest coming in. Definitely a good pick. I would suggest that on the lower side, one should keep a buffer at 260 levels. Positional pick wise, it would be a good idea to get into it. Momentum can be seen in this one above 280-85 levels, from where we'll be seeing a short-term bias, the mean reverting trade to 200 DMA, which is around 300 level. So 275 is the current price. Risk reward definitely is favorable, keeping 260 as a stop loss on the lower side. Yes, but it is going to be a positional trade. This is, you can take a time horizon of about 3 to 4 months, where you will have to hold on to this one to see gains at 300 on the higher side.
Okay. So you mean to say it is almost at a lower end of the channel at the support, very strong support, the stock is. So it's okay. So now what's the next stock is what we call loader developers.
Correct. It's basically when you find stocks at certain lower level over here, Neeraj, that is where you want to, get into it. You want to make use of the opportunity. And that is the kind of counter that, we saw currently is happening with Petronet. Now, when we're coming down to Lodha, I would suggest wait and watch, for the reason being that, as we already discussed, the infra is seeing certain pressure coming in, right? And Lodha, again, barring coming into the same sector over here, I would still maintain a cautious approach over there. I would not get on the long side positions currently. If the counter is sustaining around 1170 to 80 levels, we can revisit it. But for now, today, I would suggest no fresh position should be made over here.
Okay. Okay. There's a question from Sonu Kumar on Jindal Saw.
Sure, absolutely. Okay. Again, downward sloping trend is what we are seeing over here. Looking up on the weekly structure, we are seeing a point of closer by to a point of polarity in technical terms, where earlier there was a resistance forming in a breakout and the prices are sustaining about the same. So the point of polarity is around 194 to 195 level, right? So that is where the counter is taking a support, and from there we are seeing the bounce coming in. I would suggest on the weeklies also 200 week average is working out as a good support. In fact, we had crossed above the same in 22 and even we are maintaining above the same. Definitely there is a short-term bias negative trend that has come into this one. So I would suggest it can be a mean reverting trade that can be taken over here. Again, we were looking up at bullish signs over here. 258 to 260 is the kind of level where one should, look up at profit booking in this one. On the lower side, 189 would be a, safer stop loss to keep in this one, because since almost, if you're looking up at 2022, so 23, 24, 25, almost there. So 2.5 years more than that, we have not broken that support. We have sustained above the same and we are sustaining. So 189 would be a good support for this one. From where we can see, 260 kind of a rate coming in.
Okay, so this is a stock that is at a support level, and you can say that risk reward is probably in favor of for a positional kind of a trade, right?
Yes, absolutely. Because given the market scenario, we are still not stabilized. If you're looking up at the broader market spectrum, right? So if that is not stabilized, the only problem what happens is in the stocks which are at the support level, the holding period increases for an individual. Buying interest is definitely there. When the market will start rallying, these are the stocks which would stand out. But then again, the broader spectrum has to correct, see that kind of a buying coming in. With the kind of, GST infusion also, we have seen that we are not holding to the day's high. So holding period is something which increases from an, short term and an investment point of view. There is no, negativity coming into the market, but still a positive stimulus has to be there to keep it excited for a longer period.
Okay. Now, again, there are quite a few questions coming from our participants on the stocks. We are going to get into it. So again, Dhwani, you have been trading, you are a full-time trader, you are a full-time analyst, and just tell other viewers, like when they are trading or probably investing, for a short-term swing positional trade or swing trade something. So what are the factors they need to take into consideration? What are the most important thing that they need to focus on, at least consider while getting into a stock?
So definitely, at any point in time, Neeraj, we all know how to enter, exit. Maybe 1 or 2 rupees earlier, somebody would exit. 1 or 2 rupees later, somebody would book in profits, or either of the case. Everyone's looking at a win-win situation over here. The biggest mistake which is made by traders over a period of time that I've seen is they don't follow the discipline of money management and risk management.
Correct.
Is where the major drawback comes into that, let's say I'll just give a simple example. Option trading is what everybody loves to do, right? But then again, in option trading, we do not pick up the lot size as per our appetite. What we'll do is risk reward pata hai sabko ki we'll follow 1:2, 1:3. 1:2 is like the bare minimum that you have to follow. And 1:3 is good if you're able to get it. Above that, exceptionally well. But even in that case, what we do is I bought, let's say, Kotak Bank, and then on the other side, I'm buying Eternal Zomato. One is a 400 lot size, other is a 2400 lot size. If I'm still following the same kind of a risk reward over there, right? in number terms, the lot size makes a huge difference over there. That's where the money management part comes in. 1 rupee move over here in Eternal is going to give me, 2400. But a 1 rupee move in Kotak is just going to give me 400. I cannot set that off against each other. That is where the money management comes into picture. That, you have to manage it in terms of that conversion towards the lot size and do it when you're talking about options. Right? So that is the bigger mistake which, everyone makes in over here. Over trading that goes into it. That, like 4 positions, humanly, that is what is possible, taking 4 positions at one point in time. But
Correct.
we want to take more positions, like, set off risk. We want to take revenge from the market that, how could I make a loss? Let me, get into back again. So these, discipline and money and risk management problems is what are the bigger drawbacks for the traders. If analysis is something which is of course primary and it's easy, even if you look up at a chart without any indicators, you know where to buy and sell.
Correct.
But if you're not managing these aspects of it, the 3 pillars which are there as learning, money and risk, you're practically not following the other 2.
Okay, great. Chalo, we'll continue our learning as well from you. In the meantime, let's get back some more stocks. Kalyan Singh is asking about Angel One. So
definitely, we did see that in last few sessions, there have been volatile sessions in this.
corrected very sharply.
Yes, absolutely corrected very sharply. Though we are not seeing any bottom formation coming in into this one, right? If I'm looking up at it from a weekly perspective also, right? There was a rounding formation. We did not see a breakout coming in. We were seeing a certain support earlier. That also did not work out well. And as of now also, if you ask me, the next support level for this counter is coming somewhere at it's 200 DMA, which is closer to 1980 levels, right?
Okay. In fact, Kalyan is again asking from that perspective only. You probably think of buying it. So what is a good level?
Yeah.
That is
So
very
as of
good.
now,
End of the channel, at a lower channel.
Not a very good time to enter into. We'll be seeing further fall coming into this one. If you look up at the weeklies, there is a narrow downward sloping channel forming in into it. And on the lower side, I would suggest 1980 to 1950 would be a good level where you can buy on dips into this particular counter.
Okay, that's how Angel One. It's a very clear chart, in fact. It's kind of a sideways channel movement. Again, a very exciting stock, new network technology. I think yesterday it has moved very nicely.
Yeah, and also in today's session, also we saw that in morning, just one second.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, in morning session also we saw good amount of buy interest coming in into it. In fact, sustaining the day's high, going higher also into the trade today. Hold on to it. I would not suggest buying new positions because
Correct.
I'll be
Is
looking
it
up.
approaching a strong resistance overhead?
Yes, exactly. So I would suggest if you're having it, hold on to it. It's approaching a resistance. That's where I would book profits into it. So around 29, 90 levels, 3000 level is where I would want to book profits into this counter. And if you already have a position into it, 24.20 is the stop loss that one needs to maintain.
Correct. So if you are already having that stock, probably, as we said, support and resistance, it's approaching a very strong resistance. It's not a good time to get into it, probably. Think about exiting. Okay, great. Now let's talk about Avijit. Avijit is asking about a stock called KVB, 50 shares. What is that? I have never heard about this stock.
Even I have not, and that is the reason I am.
What is this, Avijit? Is it KVB 50 shares? Is it a ETF or something?
Yeah, because I cannot find it with that code, KVB. Or the
Correct.
full name if you can mention.
Okay, let me figure it out. But in the meantime, let's go to Manoj. Manoj, he's asking about 2 stocks, GAIL India and Reliance Power.
Okay. So when we're talking about, I would first want to talk about R Power over here, Neeraj, because this is one stock, again, we see in a lot of portfolios that people are holding on into R Power. Even Suzlon is also one of the counters where, a lot of people are holding on to it. and are hopeful about, what to do over here. So yes, R power, I would suggest you can hold on to it, for the reason being, again, if I look up at the weekly structure, we are seeing the buying interest coming
On a
in.
trend line or somewhere.
Yeah, it's a slow and steady mover. You're not seeing much of a volatile movement coming in, but slowly and steadily, if I look over here, since 23, the bottoms, the counter crossing above its important short-term and long-term DMAs, we have went from 15 rupees to 50 rupees, right? So that's a
Okay.
good amount of gain, though, very steady. So this is something you should hold on to it, maybe for a longer term perspective, and you'll see better gains coming in. For now, if the counter on the lower side on short term basis crosses below 37 level, I would worry. But till the time 37 to 33 levels has not been taken out, I would safely sit on this one.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And what about Reliance Power?
This is Reliance Power. We
Oh,
have
that is Reliance Power. Okay.
correct.
Sorry. Gale.
Yeah, coming to Gale over here, definitely in Gale also we are seeing certain pressure coming in. There was a breakout that was expected, did not happen, so the trend lines go for a waste in those scenarios. As of now, on short-term basis, we are definitely seeing a buying interest coming in. Comfortably positional buy, Neeraj, if I have to take over here, I would be taking above 188 to 190 levels. If they haven't crossed that on Gale, I would have more conviction towards the positional buy, because on the other hand, if you see the bottom ADX, it has peaked out, and from that peak, we are making a smaller peak over here. And that is where momentum is also losing out in this particular counter. And we are not seeing a clear directional crossover also happening over here. It is just trying to do it. So as of now, wait and watch. Revisit again after maybe 3 or 4 sessions where we'll see a certain direction coming in. We can make a decision after that.
Okay. Again, Anuj Mishra ne unhone pucha RVNL. What's your view on the short-term, long-term perspective?
Yeah. So we'll see. Remember, last 3 sessions, railway is doing well. Today's session, again, we are taking a hit over here. ADX, again, if you see over here, peaking out from there, we are seeing a fall.
Wow.
Right? But a good support level. If you look up at 300, 300 is a good support level. Over here, you have 1 point. Over here, you have second point. So it's trying to make a support. Once it sustains, right, the same support level of 300, we can look up at a buying opportunity. But for now, I would suggest no fresh buys can be initiated. If you're already having it, you can hold on to it. Keep a stop loss over here at 298 levels comfortably. If it's holding on to it, we can add on onto the positions later on.
Okay. So great. Yeah, we are getting lots of questions. In fact, yeah. अच्छा, थोड़ा बहुत हिंदी में भी बताइए. Okay. So I will put 1 or 2 questions, stocks in one go. Kalyan Jewelers and Tata Steel, Chandar Moria and Ram Kumar. Tata Steel है, then again oil and energy sector. Okay, ठीक है. उसका बाद then we'll shift to oil and energy sector.
Yeah. तो जहां तक हिंदी का भी सवाल है, डेफिनेटली हम हिंदी में भी आंसर करेंगे, कीपिंग इन टू व्यू everyone's comfortable level over here. कल्याण ज्वेलर्स में ब्रेकआउट आया था, वी डिड सी अ ब्रेकआउट बट सस्टेन नहीं करा. उसके बाद उसके अंदर जो फॉल है ना, वो क्लियरली हमें देखने को मिला ओवर हियर. तो दैट डिड नॉट सस्टेन. ऑन द लोअर साइड ऑल्सो सपोर्ट लेवल जो है वो मुझे बहुत क्लियरली यहाँ पे बनता हुआ अभी के लिए देखने को नहीं मिल रहा है. What I would say is let it stabilize somewhere around 490 levels over here, because we are seeing a bottom formation coming around the same. Having crossed 490 on the lower side, और weakness देखने को मिल सकती है इसके अंदर. बट अगर वो लेवल क्रॉस नहीं कर रहे हैं तो शॉर्ट टर्म बेसिस पे 550 तक का एक मीन रिवर्टिंग बन सकता है ट्रेड. बट एज ऑफ नाउ आज के सेशन में मैं कोई पोजीशन बनाने की सलाह नहीं दूंगी इसके अंदर. वी विल वेट एंड वॉच इन दिस काउंटर एज वेल. In fact, I would suggest don't go so aggressive right now, given the market scenario. We can have short-term trades over here happening, but very aggressive long positions is something is not suggested.
Okay. So that I think that's a very important piece of advice for people who want to buy stocks for longer term. Wait for some more clarity to come in. Still, the market is lots of factors affecting cross currents are happening in the market. So wait for a little bit more clarity. That's what Dhwani is suggesting, right?
Yes.
Okay. Dhwani, again, this is Kalyan, Tata Steel
Yeah, absolutely. We'll go to that one as well. Metals, again, as I said, is one of the
is,
counters where I would be moving my money to, right?
mhm,
So Tata Steel, of course, if we have to look up at the metals, nevertheless, we always have to look up at this counter, right? We did see a good amount of buying coming in. In fact, previous swing highs जो यहाँ पे थे ना नीरज उनको भी break करा है. ब्रॉडर चार्ट को अगर हम देखते हैं तो 170 का लेवल जो है दैट इज ऑल्सो वेरी गुड ब्रेकआउट लेवल फॉर दिस वन हैविंग क्रॉस्ड this on the higher side we'll see more
हाँ,
strength
हम्म,
coming in falling in into this counter. In fact अगर इन्वेस्टमेंट परस्पेक्टिव से देखना है तो वहां पे भी 170 का जो लेवल है ना वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रहेगा. उसके बाद 185 एंड देन फ्रेश हाइज कमिंग इन ओवर हियर, राइट? और एडीएक्स भी अगर आप देखो तो एडीएक्स इज स्क्वीज्ड राइट नाउ. So the momentum is squeezing. Once it will break, so that will be where the volatility will pick up, the momentum will pick up. So
correct.
after the squeeze, there will be an expansion happening, and that
हम्म.
is where you'll see further gains also coming in this one. So definitely,
So,
metal move करना है तो टाटा स्टील, हिंडाल्को ये काउंटर्स है कुछ जिनको पकड़ के रखना चाहिए.
perfect. Matlab, what you mean to say is that once that resistance or once that is breakout happens, so we can expect a good momentum in the counter
Yes,
in
yes,
the stock.
absolutely.
Okay.
And there are cluster of evidences actually happening over
Uh-huh.
there. कि वहां पे squeeze out हो रहा है नीचे, ADX के अंदर भी squeeze out हो रहा है. Then it is coming from the bottom. So that expansion will be a good volatile expansion that we'll see in this sector coming in.
थोड़ा हिंदी में ध्वनि एक्चुअली काफी लोगों ने रिक्वेस्ट किए हैं जो हम लोग थोड़ा एक्सपेंशन कॉन्ट्रैक्शंस का बात कर रहे थे. ये कॉन्सेप्ट को थोड़ा हिंदी में समझाओगे तो बहुत बढ़िया होगा.
एक्सपेंशन कॉन्ट्रैक्शन को हिंदी में अगर मुझे समझाना है ना तो एक बहुत ही सिंपल चीज जो हम डेली यूज में देखते हैं उसका एग्जांपल दूंगी. स्प्रिंग.
हम्म.
ओके, व्हेन यू सी अ स्प्रिंग, व्हाट हैपेंस इन अ स्प्रिंग? आप जितना उसको प्रेस करते हो उतना जोर से उछलता है.
करेक्ट.
व्हेन यू आर लुकिंग एट कॉन्ट्रैक्शन, आप जब स्प्रिंग को प्रेस करते हो दैट इज कॉन्ट्रैक्शन के एक टाइट रेंज में आपने उसको बांध दिया है एंड इट इज यू आर होल्डिंग इट फॉर अ वेरी लॉन्ग पीरियड ऑफ टाइम.
हम्म.
ज्यादा देर तक होल्ड नहीं कर सकते वो, उसके अंदर एक एक्सपेंशन आएगा एंड दैट इज वेयर वो स्प्रिंग उछलती है आपकी,
हम्म.
जिसकी वजह से मोमेंटम भी बनता है, राइट? सो अगर मुझे इसको बहुत ही सिंपल सा तरीका, अगर 5 साल का बच्चा है उसको भी समझाना है तो स्प्रिंग के तरीके से आप इसको समझ लो. दैट इज
हम्म.
व्हाट योर एक्सपेंशन एंड कॉन्ट्रैक्शन इज कि आप प्रेस करते हो वो एक पॉइंट ऑफ तक आप उसको कर सकते हो प्रेस. उसके बाद उसको उछलना है, वो एक्सपेंशन होता है जहां पे आपको एक वॉलेटाइल मोमेंटम मिलता है एंड इट गोज फॉरवर्ड.
ओके, ठीक है. So great. I think we can take one or two more stocks. एक करोड़ व्यास बैंक को ले लेते हैं. That is a question from Avijit.
ओके.
And second stock is yeah.
इसको अभी फिलहाल के लिए अवॉइड करो क्योंकि हम देख रहे हैं बैंकिंग पुश एक नहीं
Momentum
मिल
is full on the downside.
रहा. बैंकिंग के अंदर हमें पुश नहीं मिल रहा है. हमने दोनों चार्ट्स को भी यहाँ पे कंपेयर करा, राइट? कि
Hmm.
हमें ओवरऑल अब मार्केट को रैली करना है तो बैंकिंग की तरफ से पुश आना है, वो अभी तक नहीं देखने को मिल रहा है. आई वुड सजेस्ट वेट एंड वॉच बिकॉज यहाँ पे अगर डेलीज पे भी देख रहे हैं तो सपोर्ट लेवल नीचे 196 के लेवल्स तक जा रहे हैं. इनफैक्ट वीकलीज पे भी अगर आप देखो तो वीकलीज पे भी यहाँ पे वो अराउंड द सेम 192 लेवल्स तक जा सकता है नीचे की तरफ में. तो आई वुड सजेस्ट होल्ड ऑन, अभी थोड़ा बैंकिंग को स्टेबलाइज होने दो, उसके बाद उन स्टॉक्स को रिविजिट कर सकते हैं.
अच्छा धोनी, एक मेरा क्वेश्चन है. माय क्वेश्चन इज, देखिए हम लोग जब कोई भी स्टॉक्स खरीदते हैं बेस्ड ऑन टेक्निकल पैटर्न ब्रेकआउट और समथिंग हम लोग खरीद लेते हैं. बहुत बढ़िया ब्रेकआउट होता है, स्टॉक स्ट्रॉन्ग सपोर्ट में आ गए हैं, हम लोग खरीद लेते हैं. कुछ दिनों का बाद टेक्निकल स्टेटस चेंज हो गया, स्टॉक का सपोर्ट टूट गया, नीचे चला गया एंड हम लोग का जो पोजीशन है वो थोड़ा लॉस में चला गया. तो हम लोग का एक बहुत साइकोलॉजिकल डिसएडवांटेज होता है कि लॉस बुक करने के लिए. तो हम लोग
हाँ.
क्या करते हैं, उस स्टॉक को रख लेते हैं पोर्टफोलियो में, बुक नहीं करते और स्टॉक और नीचे जाने लगता है ना. इस बीमार का उपाय क्या है? हाउ कैन somebody गेट rid ऑफ दिस डिजीज, और
ये एक्चुअली नीरज इट्स अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग क्वेश्चन, हर कोई पूछता भी है. तो मार्केट में ना एक बीमारी चल रही है अभी फिलहाल के लिए कि हम आए थे तो ट्रेडर बन के, पर हम बन गए इन्वेस्टर।
करेक्ट।
राइट, कि हम ट्रेडर बन के आते हैं, स्टॉक नेगेटिव हो जाता है, अरे भाई मेरे हिसाब से तो चला नहीं, हम इन्वेस्टर बन के रह जाते हैं। तो इसको थोड़ा सा ना, आई विल टेक अ लिटिल विटी साइड ओवर हियर कि आप अपनी हर गर्लफ्रेंड को बीवी नहीं बना सकते। Right?
ओके।
So when you are talking about that, where you have seen that a stop loss is hit, मुझे यहाँ पे uncomfortable हो रहा है, तो आप उसके साथ परमानेंट कमिटमेंट कैसे बनाओगे?
करेक्ट।
Right? So don't have a permanent commitment when it comes to market. I always say market में stocks के साथ अगर आप trading perspective से आए हो तो those are your flings. They cannot be your partners. Partners are where you are looking at making wealth, you are looking at growth. But if it is not working out, it's just a fling. You have to detach with it. Attachment mat rakho. Attachment agar rakhi and you're not taking a loss over here, it's going to be a big hammer for you over there. And in the end, bhai, we are spend going into markets to earn money to spend for a certain expense or to make a wealth and all. But if you are going on putting money into it, I will clearly say over a period of time, I have seen people pumping in money into the markets, not taking it out. तो जब तक आप बाहर नहीं निकालोगे, आप दूसरी अपॉर्चुनिटीज मिस कर दोगे। हमारे पास अर्निंग्स है, हमारे पास कुआं तो है नहीं दैट वी विल जस्ट keep on taking a bucket and bucket and bucket out of it and keep on pouring in over here, right? This is actually a well from which we have to take bucket out to
तो
help.
इसका मतलब हम लोग को ये मार्केट में ना लॉस लेने के लिए भी सीखना पड़ेगा एंड हैप्पीली वी शुड बी एबल whenever we go wrong sometime. No doubt, as of today, a stock might be looking very attractive, very powerful, and who knows that tomorrow things changes,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
we
So
should
like,
be able to change our view as well as our position as well, है ना?
एग्जैक्टली जैसे हमने अभी सेक्टर्स की बात करी, दैट फॉर नाउ आई एम नॉट सीइंग मच ऑफ अ ल्यूक्रेटिव बाइंग हैपनिंग इन इनटू द इंफ्रा। आई कैन गो एंड मैरी एन इंफ्रा स्टॉक ओवर हियर, राइट? यू हैव टू कीप ऑन चर्निंग एंड यू हैव टू वेरी वेल फर्स्ट नो कि आप मार्केट में कौन से माइंडसेट के साथ उतर रहे हो। क्या आप ट्रेडिंग माइंडसेट के साथ उतर रहे हो? तो फिर तो इट्स लाइक नाउअडेज द डेटिंग एप्स दैट आर देयर, लेफ्ट स्वाइप राइट स्वाइप, you cannot marry it and keep it, right? But if you are entering it from a commitment point of view, then it becomes your shadi.com. कि भाई नहीं, you have to select where you are going to get into it, right? So be mindful of what purpose you are entering into it, and that will help you have more clarity.
ठीक है, फाइनली थैंक यू। कल्याणी, एक कल्याण सिंह से क्वेश्चन है, फाइनली लेट्स टेक द लास्ट क्वेश्चन। ऑयल एंड एनर्जी सेक्टर एंड ओएनजीसी एंड अडानी गैस।
Okay. Yeah. So if you look up at the overall oil and gas sector over here, daily structure पे अगर हम जाए तो बॉटम देखने को मिल रही है। बाइंग इंटरेस्ट डेफिनेटली इसके अंदर है, बट एज ऑफ नाउ बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग एक्शन इसके अंदर देखने को नहीं मिल रहा है। यू विल सी दैट एक्शन फॉलिंग इन इनटू प्लेस जहाँ पे शॉर्ट टर्म डीएमयूज को ऑन द हायर साइड इंडेक्स अगर यहाँ पे क्रॉस कर रहा है, राइट? So overall, the index is facing, the basket is facing a certain pressure over here. In fact, if I have to take a look at stock specific action coming in this counter, this particular sector, take the industry and look at it. Give me one second. Yeah. So these are all my oil and gas stocks. राइट? इसमें से सबसे ज्यादा अच्छे से आप अगर बाइंग इंटरेस्ट देख रहे हो तो एमजीएल का काउंटर है, जिसके अंदर यहाँ पे हमें एक बाइंग इंटरेस्ट देखने को मिल रहा है। दो it's a very confused, like you are seeing a good amount of volatility happening in MGL, but the stock is not stabilizing over there, right? Other than that, we are seeing today's gainers also. We are seeing over here GSPL again given the day's high, Castrol again given on the day's high. Hind Petro is one counter again, it's negative. So broader market wise, we definitely see some strength forming in, but इतना conviction अभी तक नहीं आ रहा है इन counters के अंदर, right? और जहां तक हम यहाँ पे बात कर रहे हैं, अदानी टोटल गैस इज व्हाट वी वर टॉकिंग अबाउट,
Correct.
right?
Adani total guess.
Yeah, so when we're talking about Adani Total Gas, broader chart structure negative over here, right? अगर smaller time frame पे, this is the daily time frame, वहां पे भी अगर देखो तो short term DMS को cross नहीं कर पा रहे. As of now, I would say avoid onto all of these
Correct.
counters because we are not seeing much of a strong buying action coming into it. Let it stabilize, then we can revisit.
ओके। अच्छा, एक चंदन का क्वेश्चन है, चंदन भूया का, शर्मा, SYRMA, the name of the stock is, and his question is what do you think is the right price to enter, and what is the right RRR, risk to reward ratio, that you can look for?
Yeah, so now if I have to look up at this particular counter,
Very
right?
strong stock is in a very strong uptrend and a momentum.
Strong buyers also we are seeing. In fact, what I like about is कि ADX ने peak out करा है, वहां से नीचे से बढ़ रहा है. So I would definitely keep this one on radar. In fact, अगर price extension की बात कर रहे हैं, so how far the counter can move? Let's just take a look at that as well. मैंने यहाँ पे extension लिया है. Generally, when the stocks are near all-time highs, we use Fibonacci extensions to know if the prices will move how much and how much favorable. So 827 के बाद we'll see 870 and then 930, right? So 870 to 930 is the zone where the counter can move to. I would suggest hold on to it. Breakout भी आया है काउंटर के अंदर, स्टॉप लॉस मेंटेन करके रखना. इनफैक्ट डेलीज पे प्रीवियस डे लो जो यहाँ पे बना है 754, तो सेफर साइड 750, थोड़ा सा प्राइस को ब्रीदर देते हैं गिवन द वॉलेटिलिटी. 750 का प्राइस यहाँ पे मेंटेन हो रहा है, तो 870 से 930 तक काउंटर मूव कर सकता है.
Wonderful. Thank you, Dhwani, so much. Today you have answered so many questions. In fact, हम लोग का viewers, many stocks have been discussed and analyzed. And also, at the end, I would like to tell you that these are not recommendation, okay? So these are purely analysis. Dhwani has given her technical views or analyze the way she analyzed the stocks. So don't take it as a recommendation. Please talk to your investment advisor. You know that the stock trading or investing involves risk, and nowadays we need to be very, very careful about it, right? So please keep attending our sessions. So we'll try to combine both, identifying stocks as well as learning something out of this as well. So we'll continue our effort. And thank you, Chandan. Thank you, Jay, all of you, Chandar, all of you, for asking so insightful, beautiful questions, in fact. Thank you so much, Dhwani, and see you next time again.
Thank you everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Investments in the securities market are subject to market risk. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.